Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and today we are doing the July repurchase review. So for those of you who are new here, this is where I go through all of the items I purchased or featured on my channel during the month of July, and would I buy them again if I could do it over, any updates or thoughts on those particular items. This can really help, after I get new items, maybe something better came along since then and so forth. I also have a top 5 of my favorite products at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. This is actually going to be a more brief repurchase review because I purchased a lot of items this month, but a lot of them were pretty expensive. So I don't necessarily have as many items as I usually do. So let's go ahead and we're going to work our way backwards. We're going to start off with the Sonia G Fundamentals brushes. And I have to say thank you again to Sonia G and Beautylish for sending me these. And if you're not familiar with the Fundamental series, this was Sonia G's original series of brushes that she came out with, many years ago. At this point, they had the red barrel handles and she has updated them. We now have these gorgeous maple handles. They have the more tapered appearance. You've got the matte black ferrule, and we've got many of the same brushes. We also have some updated designs and one new brush, which is this one here, the Worker L, which I absolutely love. I have to say, I think this is a really great set. I did not purchase this, but I would purchase it. I was actually going to purchase it when they said they'd send this to me, and I really like it. So I do have the original fan brushes from the original Fundamental set, and I think, the new updates are great. For the most part, the fan brushes are the same. You can see my video to see a little bit more on each of those, as well as some comparisons. But the updates that we have to some of the others, I think, are really nice updates. This brush here, the Worker L, is a new brush. So if you don't have the originals, I would recommend it. But overall, I think this is a great set. They're also sold individually. So I think it's definitely something to invest in. And yeah, these would definitely be a repurchase. I think these are great. Moving on, we have the new YSL quads, and my 100, like many others, was loose in here. I haven't gotten around to gluing it in yet, but I do need to do that. That is a disappointing thing. I thought it was just mine, perhaps, but it sounds like a lot of people who ordered the Shade 100 had that same issue. So I think another disappointing feature of these is the fact that they are not refillable packaging. This is really nice packaging. It looks very luxe. It would be nice to be able to reuse that. So that is something that, I wish had been a feature of these. That being said, these are really beautiful, sparkly eyeshadows. I really like them. I hope they branch out into some more color stories. I picked up 3 of them, and these are the 3 color stories that are out there right now that interest me the most, that are available in the US. If that blue one comes, I definitely want to pick that up. But these are not going to be for everybody. So if you like sparkly, glittery eyeshadow, these are fantastic. If you prefer something more subdued, these will be too glittery. And I have to say, I really like them. Glad I picked them up. My favorite is 100, which is this one here. And it's just a great, cool, neutral eyeshadow palette. So yes, I would repurchase these. I also picked up a whole bunch of the new Cle de Peau eyeshadows. Now, these have a very hefty price tag. You can purchase just the refill, which, by the way, just lifts out. There's a little ledge here. And if you purchase these from the Cle de Peau website, they come, the refill and the case, separately regardless. So, this here, it just clicks in. I do wish it was magnetic, because in that case, I would have probably just filled up a big palette with the refills, but I'm sure they wanted more money. So yeah, that they're not magnetic, but they do clip in nicely. They are pretty secure that way. And that's the same way that the previous palettes did as well. So this is the one I have on my eyes right now. This is Seagrass. I have to say, I really like these quads. I think they are fantastic. You've got a variety of different finishes. These are a very sophisticated eyeshadow palette. The texture of them is very smooth and creamy, and they do have a primer shade, this bottom left-hand shade in all the palettes is like a cream primer, but it doesn't have to be used as a traditional primer. It can also be used as a highlight, can go on top of eyeshadow and so forth. It's essentially your topper shade, but instead of doing a traditional topper that everybody else has done in their palettes, they made it more of a shimmery base. So it's always going to be a very light highlight type of color. And I have to say, I really love these. I invested a lot in these and I'm very happy I did. I picked up the ones that most called to me at first, and perhaps I'll pick up some more in the future. But for now, I'm really happy with the ones that I got. My favorites would be, honestly, it's really hard to narrow down favorites from the ones that I got. But if I had to pick, you know, just the three, this would be number one, Sand Dune. This is definitely a favorite. Let me go ahead and just swatch this briefly. And this is very similar in tone to the YSL Store Dolls, which is the 100. And then I also absolutely love this purple one. I mean, look at this purple. So pretty. And we have this kind of movie taupe shade there. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely a favorite palette here as well. And then let's stick there with my top two. Those are my top two. And then it gets really hard because I've got the blue and the green and palette number 3 and 4. And I think those are the right numbers, or 1 and 2. So anyway, it's really a hard choice, but those would be my top two from Cle de Peau. And then let's just go ahead and swatch the YSL right here. We'll do it this way so we can kind of compare. You can see how much more sparkly the YSL are. Texture of these is very creamy and soft as well. But they're different, you know? So you can see the color story is very similar between the two. It's definitely one that I love personally. And I just want to mention, if you just purchase the refills, they come like this. This plastic is totally sufficient. You don't need to have, you know, a case, or you can easily get a case and switch them around and so forth. So, you know, that is something nice to know, that this is, you know, kind of a hard plastic that will definitely protect your shadows and keep them clean if you want to only purchase refills. Next up, we have the new Armani Power Fabric Concealer. I picked up shade 1.5, and this is like your fair neutral, and it is pretty neutral. It leans ever so slightly warm, but I'd say it's pretty neutral. And I think it's a really nice concealer. I think it's great. So I would pick this up again. It's going to be more of a full coverage, more matte appearance. And I think it's really great. It's not necessarily one that I'll use every day, because I really do like a brightening concealer for every day, like the Valentino. But this is definitely one that I would use when I'm trying to be a little bit more full coverage. So I think it's a really nice concealer, and I would pick this one up again. And next up, we have the ESUM blush palette. I have to say, I really like the packaging on these. I like how these are refillable, removable. These are magnetic pans in here that you can, you know, easily take out. I think this is a really great blush palette. If you're looking for a palette with a variety of colors that you can mix and match, or you're a makeup artist and you are looking for, you know, a wide variety of shades, this is a really great palette. I think the packaging design is great. This is removable here as well. So yeah, I would pick this one up again. I think it's a nice product. Next, we have the Isamaya. This is the Industrial 2.0 palette. I'm actually removing this top piece because, you know, just for storage reasons, I prefer something that's flat on the top. So I did have a few questions, so I decided to put the top back on so I can show you what I do. This is a palette spatula, and all I did is slide it in here, and you can see the glue there. So I'm just gonna kind of slide this around. And I only had this off for like a second or so originally, so the glue is actually still really sticky on here. And you can see as I move this around, it's just lifting off. And I have to say the Industrial 1.0 palette, that came off just as easily as well. And then you can just remove this. Now on the other one, I painted the top. or I let my children paint the top. This one I'll probably leave as is, but I'm going to remove the glue later. You can use like magic eraser, or I use orange oil and stuff as well to remove the glue adhesive. So I just wanted to share that for those of you who have been asking. And this is the 2.0 palette. I mean, if you're looking for beautiful, colorful shimmers, or if you really loved the Natasha Denona pastel palette, but you wanted something a little bit more depth of colors, this is it. I love this palette. Let's just go ahead. Well, we'll just swatch a couple. So these are the two ones that look purpley here. And you can see we've got different finishes, different textures here. I mean, like, you can see this white one is actually going to be a minty green. You've got all these duochromes in here. Let's just do the light blue as well. And you can see the light blue has a gold reflect in there. It reminds me of like Cinderella blue, you know, like that Cinderella blue dress. And I have to say, you know, I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So I love this palette. I would definitely purchase this one again. You know, there can be some fallout, but if you like color, this is a great palette to have. And by the way, this is just what this looked like. It's just plastic. Moving on, we have the Guerlain Fall Collection. I have to say, it's a really nice set of neutral shades. We've had a lot of neutral shades that are coming out for this fall season. Between the two palettes, this one here is Wild Nudes. You know, it's not my favorite, this one. I thought I'd really like the color story of this one a lot, and I do. I think it's a great color story, but you can see that we basically have, you know, 3 matte shades and a satin, and I wish that there was a lighter highlighting shade in here, and I wish that, you know, these were more satins than mattes. So it's not a favorite. I think it's okay. This is not your Guerlain formula that you get with the permanent palettes. This is more of a regular eyeshadow palette. And as such, I feel like it is overpriced personally. You know, what was it? I think it was like $90 for the palette. We're looking at Tom Ford pricing here with that, you know, flat eyeshadow formula, not the creme, but the other one, like, you know, their classic, you know, regular powder eyeshadow formula, which I personally don't like. I feel like this is equivalent to that. So I personally would pick that one up on sale, but I think, you know, after using it a few times, I would just, I wouldn't pay full price on that one. However, this one here, 910 Undressed Brown, this one I like more. So we have this, you know, more metallic orange here. We have this lighter champagne that's like got peach in it. It's like a lighter shimmery peach. We have a matte here, a matte brown, and then we have a satin. And I have to say, I really like this one. I think the different finishes in here make this a little bit more worthwhile. Plus, I think the color story is a little bit more unique. So between the two palettes, I would pick the Undressed Brown. I really like that one. And you know, is that one worth $90? You know, that's a personal decision, but I feel better about purchasing the 910 than the 258 Wild Nudes at that price point. Now, in addition, I picked up quite a few, all except one shade. Oh, actually, I did order the last shade. I have that, but I haven't used it yet. I'm sorry. I have been so incredibly busy these last few weeks because my kids have not been in camp, and you can see I got sunburn. We've been going to my parents' house and swimming at their pool a ton. So, yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time recently. But I will have that last shade coming up soon. But I did pick up the other shades and reviewed them. I personally really love the new satin shades they came out with. This one here is the new number 8, which is not the same as the holiday number 8. This is going to be a bit warmer. So here is number 8, the new one. Let me show you the holiday. This is the holiday number 8. And you can see that this has a little bit more pink. It's a little bit cooler. I really like both of them. The holiday one is my personal preference because I go for those cooler tones. But I have to say I would definitely purchase both of them because I really, you know, I really like both of them. As for all of the lipsticks, I think they're all great, but I feel like the velvets, a lot of them look very similar. So My personal preference from this collection would be the satin shades that they released from this. I think they are a little bit different and just really pretty. But again, we're looking at a whole bunch of nude and neutral toned lipsticks, and I love the Rouge G formula. So I'd repurchase them again, but I would limit my velvets because a couple of them are very close to each other. So just to show you, this one here is 139, which is one of the velvets. And let me show you 159. And you can see how close those really are. Yeah, of course, there are some differences there, but I feel like they are a little bit too close. So I would pick one or the other between them. You know, honestly, you can kind of go either way. They're both very close, but I would have to say that this one, the 159, is going to be my preference over the 139. But again, it's just because it has a slightly more pink to it, but they're super, super close. So that's the Guerlain Fall collection. Overall, I'd say that the collection was nice, but it wasn't wow. The lipsticks were my favorite part. Then we have the SUQQU Autumn Winter 2023 collection. I'm still waiting for my order for the rest of the items, but so far I have a few items that were sent to me in PR. So there's this palette 128, which is actually pretty close to the 08 palette in the permanent line. So I do have a comparison of that. There's a short if you're interested in seeing that. It's also on Instagram and TikTok. But I love this palette. I think it's great for every day. I like the addition of the gray in here, which makes it different from the 08 palette. This matte shade here, this like kind of taupey matte shade, is like the perfect, you know, like nude one and done for me. I absolutely love it. This is a palette. I think it's gorgeous. So I did order the other one. I ordered the whole collection. So once those come, I will definitely have a video up on that. But we do have a new liquid eyeshadow, which I think is nice, but it depends what you're looking for. So I talked a bit about that in my video, and I'll talk about that more in the full line. But after trying it, I still purchased the rest of them. So I would repurchase, but they're not my favorite. And the other thing that I received so far was one of the blushes. So I have the blush in 143, and I have to say I love this. I've been wearing this nonstop. You can see we kind of go from this reddish bronzy shade to a lavender. And let me swatch those two separately. Let's put them here. So, I mean, you can use it separately as blush and highlighter, or you can mix them together and you get that. I think this is a gorgeous everyday blush. So yeah, I would definitely pick that up. I did order the other shade as well. Another item that was sent to me was the What's Up Beauty Watch Me mascara. And this is a really neat mascara. So I like this because we have, you can see at the top here, this is an eyelash comb. And this will give you a ton of volume. So this is like, for me, what I consider a nighttime mascara. So when you want to go glam, you want those really full lashes, this is really great for that. So far, I haven't had any flaking or smearing or smudging, anything like that, even on the longer, more humid, hot days. And so I would pick this up again. So we'll see how this performs after, you know, another month or so before it reaches, you know, I tried not to go past 3 months. So we'll see if it keeps up. But so far it is holding up so well. I really enjoy it. So I would purchase this. And next up we have the new Givenchy lip balms. And these are limited edition. This one here is shade 26. Let's put it right here. And to say, I really like them. The lightest shade, number 24, is a lavender. It's beautiful, very sheer, gives you a slight lavender hue on your lips. I have that one downstairs because it is my, you know, go-to top-up shade right now. So yeah, I would purchase these again, but I have to say that shades 25 and 26, they're not really purple. So again, this one is 26 and here's 25. You can see that these are much more red, more berry. Only the shade 24 is actually a true like lavender shade. So just something to know. I do think these are gorgeous shades, but I wish that they had more purple in them because I feel like that was kind of the focal point of this collection. And it's a shame that only one of the 3 shades actually is purple. So I would pick them up again, but yeah, that's kind of it. Next, I tried a few things from Toty, which is a new brand. I actually have their regular sunscreen as well. I've been using that on a daily basis, not when I got the sunburn. This was actually 2 different sunscreens layered and reapplied frequently, but you know, whatever, it happens sometimes. I try my best. But I tried the CC cream from Toty. This is the Illumina CC cream. This is actually pretty nice as long as you get a good color match. This one's a little bit light for me. It's SPF 50 plus, but I like the texture. I think the finish is nice. Let's just put a little bit up here. It does give you more of like that more pearly finish to the skin, but I think it's a really nice daily CC cream. However, the compact, the creamy CC compact, I don't like this. You know, again, I have the wrong shade here, but my problem with this is the finish. I feel like it looks patchy. It looks a little dry on the skin, and it just, you know, I'm not a fan. So I would skip that compact. The CC cream I think is nice. The regular sunscreen is nice. However, I'm probably not going to purchase either of them again personally. There are just so many other great sunscreens, and I haven't noticed anything special about these ones that makes me really love them. However, if you are looking for a CC cream with such a high SPF, there aren't too many SPF 50 plus CC creams, so this would be a good option in that case. Okay, so it's time for my top 5, and we're pretty eyeshadow heavy this month. So I'd have to say top 5, it would actually be the Cle de Peau #1 Sand Dune and the YSL 100 Store Dolls, but these are very similar color stories. So in that case, if you were to get both, I'd probably recommend going like maybe the YSL 100 and the Cle de Peau in 12 Purple Ocean Twilight. Following that, I'd go with these 2 items from the SUQQU Autumn Winter collection. So this is the 143 blush. I just think this is great for every day. And, you know, I really love this palette here, the 128. I think it's a great everyday palette. I have been wearing these 2 items a ton, so those would definitely be there. And then following that, you know, it's really tough. Givenchy lip balm in 24 or the Isamaya Industrial 2.0. And, you know, it's tough. They're kind of at a draw. So I don't know if I can really choose between the 2 of them. I guess I'd have to give it to the Isamaya because this is going to have more color, more presence. I love the actual, you know, shade 24 from Givenchy, but let's face it, it's a very sheer lavender. You're not seeing a lot of color. So yeah, I think I'd give it to the Isamaya, and those would be my top 5 for this month. I'd love to know what you've been enjoying or disliking this month. Let me know how your purchases have gone, and we've got quite a bit coming up. I'm waiting for several orders right now in the mail. You know, I did order those Valentino liquid lipsticks. I ordered a ton of them. Placed a large order from Valentino. They still have not shipped. I'm kind of annoyed. And then I ordered some from Sephora. They came quickly. So I'm waiting for the rest of the order to arrive before I post that. That'll be up. My Chantecaille fall is coming soon. I ended up ordering the eyeshadows. And, you know, we've got quite a few things. So definitely stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon. So I hope you are having a great day and a wonderful summer, if summer is your season right now, and otherwise have a great season. But I will see you very soon, so have a great day.